Welcome to your Mamamoon Podcast, with interviews and tips from real life for your pregnancy journey from belly to baby.
We're Tessa and Nina, and we are passionate about motherhood. Our goal is to give you tools towards a beautiful and empowering experience during labor and a smooth entry into life as a mom.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Mamamoon Podcast. We're super excited to have you here. Today, we're going to talk to Hannah about her birth story. As usual, please leave us a comment, like, and share this episode. Share it with moms to be who need to hear all about great birth stories and empowering birth stories, because that's really what we want to get out into the world. Leave us your comments, like us on iTunes, Spotify, I don't know, wherever you listen to this podcast. Give us a thumbs up so that we can keep coming with these interviews and with these great information and everything that you want to know around pregnancy, birth, and parenthood. And we love to hear from you. So if you feel like it, also share your birth story in the comments. We're super curious to hear how you like this one. Comment on Hannah's story and let us know what you thought about it. And having said that, let's stop with the chit chat and let's dive in. We're super excited today to have Hannah with us. Hannah is a mom living in Germany. And she recently had her baby at home, which is, if you are based in Germany or if you're based in a country there where it's not the default that you have your baby at home, you know that that's a very special thing. So in Germany, less than 1% of all babies are born at home. So home births are still a very special process, let's say. It's also not something that is normal, and it's something that you really have to prepare for much more in Germany than you would have in other countries. We've recently spoken to 2 German midwives. You might have listened to that episode as well. If you haven't, then dive right in there. It's actually 2 episodes with Feli and Iris, 2 German midwives who are doing home birth in Germany and are giving you all the tips that you need and all the knowledge that you need if you are thinking about considering a home birth in a country where that's not the normal way to go. So make sure you listen to those 2 episodes. There's loads of information there. But that's actually, during that conversations, Hannah's name came up because Hannah's birth story is so nice and so beautiful and empowering and really needs to be told. And that's why Hannah then also reached out to us and said, look, I'm really happy to share my birth story with you in more detail. And we love those birth stories. So we were very excited that we got to talk to Hannah today. So Hannah, welcome on this podcast. Super glad that we have you here today. Can you maybe kick us off with a bit more information about yourself? What do you want to share?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you for welcoming me here. I'm Hannah. I'm 30 years old. I'm from Germany, and after school I started my career as an early childhood educator, but I kind of worked and then quit my work and go for travels, and I did that a couple of times. So jumping from working to backpacking during the last 10 years. And just under 3 years ago, I met my boyfriend and now father of my son in India while I was backpacking there. And since then, we in a relationship, like a very long distance relationship.
Very long distance relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I spent time in India, and then I went back to Germany, went back to India, kind of that. And so finally he's gonna be here soon. We're gonna be reunited in about 2 weeks, and we are super excited for that. And other than that, I'm very passionate about birth, natural, sacred birth, and about spiritual concepts as yoga and meditation. And I love to go to ceremonies or sacred women's circles, all those kind of stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. Lots of female empowerment.
So I can't wait to hear the story, but I always like to learn, do a step back. So just for us to also understand, if you look back at your pregnancy, was there anything special about your pregnancy? Yeah, other than of course living in those very special times, right?
Yeah, definitely. There are some special circumstances around my pregnancy. I mean, as I just mentioned, that my partner lives in India, and I just got pregnant exactly the time when the whole Corona pandemic started. So that was, yeah. So at the time I got pregnant in March 2020, I was not aware about what is coming with the Corona, with the travel restrictions and everything. So when I was in India and then Corona started and I left the country in a very chaotic situation because the government was really pushing the foreigners to leave. So I just went back home to Germany without knowing that I'm pregnant and without knowing that the border is going to be closed for so long. I mean, they still closed. There is no option for me to go to India. And so I came home, and then a week after I found out about the pregnancy, and then I like I experienced the whole pregnancy and birth and all the time now without my partner being physically present. I mean, of course, we were in touch all the time, but I think that's a pretty defining experience for the pregnancy.
It's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge. I always say that pregnancy is not a walk in the park. Huge respect, Hannah, honestly. I mean, doing it all by yourself, lots of strength.
I mean, there was no other option than finding a way to go through that and keep myself also my partner. I mean, we tried to find a good way to go through that whole pregnancy over the phone.
It forces you to come up with whole new creative ways of staying connected and making someone else a part of this pregnancy as well, right? Because I mean, you also want your partner to somehow be a part and experience as much as he can, even if it is from a distance.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I took a lot of videos from the screening, for example, and like just video call is a big part of my life, and finally it's gonna change soon, and but of course there are a lot of things that I couldn't share with him, and he missed a lot of special moments, and this is sad. There is a big loss in that in that separation. Definitely.
Totally.
But I mean, other than this, to come back about my pregnancy in general, my pregnancy started kind of with heavy nausea. I think nausea is the word. So the first month of my pregnancy, I felt kind of paralyzed because I had nausea 24/7, and it became better, I would say, in week 16. Slowly it became better, and I was kind of okay, not back to normal, but kind of okay in week 20. So half of the pregnancy I was really busy with I don't know, dealing with the nausea all day long.
Yeah.
But after that, when the nausea became better, I really loved to be pregnant. Like I really enjoyed it, and I I perceived the pregnancy as a really deep and profound spiritual experience, yeah, on a physical and mentally level.
Nice. Oh, that's great. I mean, it's good that when it's eventually that nausea clears out, then you can actually enjoy being pregnant, because it's such a special time in your life, right? And there's so much happening in your body and in your mind and in your spirit, that it's great
Yeah,
when you can consciously enjoy that and not just try to keep everything together.
yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
But I mean, yeah, of course, it was hard suffering all the time with the nausea, but also this kind of forced me to be very to be very calm. I was laying in bed a lot of the time, but that also gave me the chance to really yeah, turning inwards and just not being overactive, and just being with me, focused on my body. And so there is also a kind of a chance in that. Yeah,
It's beautiful. There's good things in everything. You just have to find it, right? Yeah. Great. So you got pregnant in March. So you gave birth when? That's not so long ago then.
yeah, it's almost 5 months ago. My son, his name is Noam, by the way. So Noam got born in the end of November.
End of November.
He
Great. So
came
not so
10
long ago.
days before the due date. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we already said you had Noah at home. You gave birth to Noah at home, which in Germany is very special. Can you tell us a little bit about why and how you made that decision, given that you're in an environment where that's not normal? So somehow that, where did that idea come from, and how did you develop that further? And then how did you make it happen? Because, if you want to have a home birth in Germany, it's not like it's completely clear and out there what you need to do to have it, right? So maybe can you take us from that moment of, okay, I'm pregnant, to, all right, I'm going to have a home birth, and this is how I'm going to prepare for it.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, my son's name is not Noah. It's Noam with an N at the end.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that makes a lot of confusion in the first place. Yeah. Yeah. So the home birth, I would say that I was super determined to never give birth at a hospital unless there are like medical reasons for it. Yeah, I made this decision a long time before I got pregnant. Yeah, it's just that I always felt this, so there was an unnatural sense about the how birth happens in hospitals, and I always felt that so deeply, that this is not right how it happens in hospitals, or often. I mean, I don't want to talk about like every midwife in a hospital or every hospital birth, but yeah, so I just always question that, how it happens there, the sorry, now that could be something that we could cut out. I'm looking forward.
What's the word?
Yeah.
In German. What's the word in German?
The interventions, I guess.
Yeah, interventions.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay, so we start with silence. So yeah, in the hospitals, I hear about like from friends and just all those birth stories, and I heard so much about the interventions they doing, and yeah, that just never felt right to me and not natural. And I always was so convinced about that our female body is just perfectly designed for giving birth, and actually there is no need of medications or other more violent interventions. And I have some home birth stories in my close surrounding. Like my little sister came at home, and I have some friends who gave birth at home. So it was familiar to me. It was not so not a super strange thing to me.
And how did you find the midwives?
Yeah, so that's a big thing in Germany. I don't know exactly about other countries, but here in Germany, um, finding a midwife for home birth is not easy at all. So this is the first thing you should do, getting in contact with midwives who attend home birth in your area. And at the time I got pregnant, Iris was in my city where I live here in Darmstadt. She was the only midwife who attend home birth. Now, fortunately, they have a team of 7, I guess. Yeah, and that's so good. I'm so happy about that. Yeah, and I called her in week 7 of my pregnancy, which is pretty early. I mean, some other women just finding out about the pregnancy in week 7. And I was very lucky to be the last woman with due date in December she could accept. I mean, of course, she cannot attend as many women as asking. So yeah, I was luckily the last woman with due date in December. And yeah, so you should decide, or I mean, you don't have to make a firm decision, but you should get in contact with midwives for home birth very early, as soon as this idea is coming up. Yeah.
And about the birth, yes, finally. So tell us everything about how did it start? Did you have any signs that did something come or happen before? Was there this big splash of water as we see in the movies, or maybe it was a little bit more discreet?
Yeah, I mean, my birth was was so discreet that I didn't get it that I'm already in the birth process, because I was so deeply relaxed when my birth started that it took me a while. It took me a while to understand that I'm already giving birth. So yeah, the day before I already had this feeling, who knows, it could start. I feel this back pain getting a little bit more intense. I have back pain for a couple of days before, and yeah, just my intuition told me it might could happen this night. And then I woke up in the morning and I was like, oh, okay, maybe my intuition is not as good as I thought, because the birth didn't start. But yeah, and I actually had a date with my little sister that day, and I thought, I feel more like staying at home. I better tell her that we don't meet anywhere else. I'm staying at home. But I was just so super relaxed all the time. And so looking forward, I was so joyfully expecting that birth that I was, yeah, I guess that's a big point, being not in fear, but being in joy with the birth. Yeah, so I was super relaxed the whole morning, and then I had lunch, and after lunch, I wanted to lay down for a little nap, and then I noticed, oh, this back pain, what I considered as a back pain, is coming pretty regular. And I thought, okay, let's see. And I was just laying in my bed, and always when this back pain came, I checked the time, and then I recognized, okay, this is coming every 7 minutes. That's not back pain. I guess that's the beginning of labor. And that was I observed this labor from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. But I was still super relaxed and thought, okay, this are like it's not intense. It's not painful at all. So this is just a very gentle beginning. And I mean, I know that sometimes it happens that women got contractions like that, and then it stops again, and nothing happens for another 2 days, for example. So I was super relaxed and thought, I'm just gonna observe it for the next hours, and and I was just happily excited about it. And then around 2 p.m., I wanted to go to the bathtub, and when I got undressed, there came a kind of a gush of water of so, and then I thought, okay, that probably my water broke. But still I was just so, I don't know, I was just relaxed with the whole situation. And I was telling myself all the time, okay, Hannah, don't get too excited. You still have a long way to go. You don't need to call everybody right now. You can just enjoy it a little bit with yourself, because there are like hours and hours to go for the full birth process. And so I went into the bathtub and just relaxed there a little bit, and I kept observing myself and my body. I was super focused on my body, and then I noticed that the contractions came like every 5 to 4 minutes, and then I was a little bit surprised. I thought, oh, okay, that's a big jump from 7 to 4 minutes in such a short time. But well, okay, let's see. It's still not painful. I kept telling myself that there is a long journey, and I'm just at a gentle beginning of it. And
And
then
all the
I
time
called
you didn't. Okay, so you hadn't called your midwife at all yet
nobody
up
so
to
far,
that.
because it was just an hour ago that I actually acknowledged that the birth started. So but then I from in the bathtub I gave the first call to Iris, and I explained her how I feel and what's going on, and she was super relaxed, and she said, okay, that's good to know, but call me again when it gets more intense, and if you feel the contractions strong. And she said, Hannah, like for the first birth, the child is not coming in an hour. But actually that was exactly what happened. She was super relaxed. I was super relaxed, and I hang up and spent a little bit more time in the bathtub. And then the contractions became more intense. And they were already like every 2 minutes. And I still was super confused, like, 2 minutes, that's a very short distance between, like a short gap between the labors, but it's still not painful. So I was super confused. I felt them powerful and kind of intense and powerful, but it was not painful to me. So then there was a moment when I questioned myself, oh, maybe I'm not really giving birth. Maybe I completely seeing this whole situation completely wrong. So I don't know.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but then when it became a little bit more intense, I called my mom and my sister. Um, and then I called Iris again. That was 45 minutes after the first call, I guess. Yeah, I guess 45 minutes after the first call. And then she could hear it on my voice. And she was like, okay, I can hear you. Like, the labor is more intense. I was a little bit heavily breathing through the contractions. And she said, I'm gonna pack my stuff and come. And yeah, then I climbed out of the bathtub, and all the time I was so relaxed, and I told myself, oh, I have so much time. I will lit my candles and I will play my music and everything. But then suddenly everything went so quick. The labor became so like increased and became more intense, that I was just looking for something to wear on. And yeah, then suddenly I was just climbing out of the bathtub, and then suddenly the pushing labor already started. And I was super confused. I thought, oh, that just can't be real. Like that just can't be like that. Birth is long and birth is painful, and how can I be? And there was a moment when I wanted to check my cervix, the dilation
The dilation.
dilation of the cervix, and I already felt like the head. I had the head of my baby, and like I could feel the full head of my baby, and I thought, okay.
I mean, two things.
Okay,
So
like
you
that.
thought I check myself. That's already brilliant. I love that. I've never heard of somebody who decides to check their dilation themselves.
Yeah, I wanted to see how long do I have to go, and I thought, okay, well, he's on the way, and nobody was here. Like my mom and my sister wasn't there, and I knew all of them are on the way, but yeah, and then the pushing labor was strong and intense, and I tried to like I pushed a little bit, but tried to breathe it away, half of the contraction, because I knew everyone is on the way and they must be here super soon. But I already prepared myself mentally to just give birth alone. If it's meant to be like that, then I will give birth alone. Yeah, but then my mom and my sister came first. They arrived, and they came in, and I just said like, he's coming. I'm already pushing. He's coming. Yeah, they were kind of surprised too, but yeah, I don't know. They were so aware of what to do, and so they were not nervous. Not yeah. I just loved how they got the situation, and they quickly put a kind of a plastic sheet under my bed sheet, because I told them so many times before when we prepared for the birth. I always told them, first thing you have to do, put the plastic sheet under the bed sheet, so we don't have to do that later, so the bed is prepared. And that's what they did, and then I just jumped on the bed and started to push my son out, and my mom was behind me and kind of receiving the baby, and my sister was next to me, and because I was a little bit disappointed that I prepared my room so well. There was everything. I mean, I had this beautiful birth tent, and I had candles and oil and everything and music, and just there was no time for nothing of that. And I told my sister, sing Om Gaya Mandala. so she just stood next to me and gently like touched my back, and she sang this mantra. And yeah, then when Iris came, she arrived when the head was already born, and my mom wanted to make free the space for her. But Iris was so super relaxed. She was like, no, you're doing well. And she just sat in the next to my mom and told her what to do, like when the head came out, how to gently, turn it around. And then my mom kind of received Noam and gave him through my legs into my arms. And yeah, that was just a very special experience for my mom, my sister, and me, and my son, of course.
Oh my God! Because your mom gave home birth as well, right? Your little sister.
Yeah, I mean, I have to mention that my mom gave birth very quick too, because I came in the car on the way to the hospital. So she gave birth to me all alone, just in the car with my father, and my sister, my little sister, came at home. Yeah.
Beautiful. It's such a, it feels like such a birth story, like the way it's supposed to be, right? It's not in a hospital, it's at home, and it's surrounded by other women out of your family or out of your tribe that support you, that know how it goes, that are there for you and help you through the process. And that with you being so relaxed and having the combined wisdom and female power of your family around you, it's like that's exactly how we're supposed to give labor, I think, from a natural, from a primal point of view. And it's so beautiful when these things happen. I mean, these birth stories really need to be told so much more. I loved what you said about the birth tent, and I think that's a special thing that we really should touch upon, and about your birth environment, because that is also one of the things that Iris mentioned to us during the podcast, when she talked about your birth, saying that you had created this beautiful birth environment, and you already said that, you know, being so relaxed helped you go through this labor in a lot of ways. Tell us a little bit about your birth environment that you created.
Yeah. So I would say around halfway of the pregnancy, I felt this nesting instinct, kind of. So I really wanted to create my birth place. And so I guess every woman who don't want to give birth in the hospital is pondering around the question, where do I want to give birth? How should the environment be? What kind of atmosphere do I want? And I felt this deep urge to give birth outside, or in the nature, or in a kind of a cave, or a yard, or a cottage. That came always up to me. But I mean, I had to accept that it was winter in Germany, and that's definitely not the time to give birth outside. um, and I was kind of unhappy with my very little apartment here, and I really tried hard to find a bigger apartment, but we're not successful with that. So yeah, that was a kind of a hard and long process for me, to accept that I would just give birth here in my little one-room city apartment. And then, but because I wanted to have this safe space, and kind of I always had this picture of a tent, or kind of a yard, or so I talked to my sister and to my mom, and to friends, about this idea, and then just one idea led to another. And so then the final idea was to build a tent in my room, in my bedroom. And we used just a very simple kind of a party tent for outside parties, events. with a metallic frame, like this kind of metallic
Mm.
Like a
pole.
pavilion sort of thing.
Yeah, kind of a pavilion. Yes, exactly. And normally, usually you put kind of a plastic sheet to cover it, like a roof. But instead of that, we use beautiful, beautiful Indian cloth layers like saris, and I got them like this full. I love every aspect of that because here I normally I go once a month to an women gathering. It's called Red Tent Gathering. I don't know. That's the concept that happens all around the world. So women gather together and just share sisterhood and sacred spirituality all around women. And yeah, but because of Corona, the Red Tent gatherings couldn't happen at that time. So they gave all those beautiful Indian cloth layers to me, um, which they normally decorate the room for the gatherings with those saris, but they gave it to me so I could use it for my birth tent, and that was just such a nice blessing because then I could integrate the energy of those loving women who were such a important part of my pregnancy. As my partner was not there, I felt so encouraged and held and cared by those women, and so I could have this good energy and blessings from them with my with this cloth. And I mean, of course, it's super cool that my baby, who is half Indian, half German, got born under a roof of beautiful Indian saris. Yeah, and I just built that in my bedroom. It was a 3 on 3 meter tent, and I will share photos and a video with you. Yeah, and I had everything in there: my bed and kind of a little desk, like a little altar with candles and beautiful light. And I made a dream catcher, which was in the middle of the tent. And yeah, so I felt very safe and very relaxed. And I think this is such an important key fact for birth, for pleasurable birth, to feel safe and to feel just not in fear, not stressed, to be relaxed and feel comfortable, just to feel 100% comfortable with the surrounding, with the situation, with the people who are there. I think this is a big, big key fact for a for a for a pleasurable birth.
And it's for me, I mean, your story it's just yeah, it's just a proof, like how much it can be different if we have the trust that our bodies can do what they are designed to do. And there's of course the way that you supported yourself, Hannah. I mean, being on your own, and usually, what happens is, like, when the things start, it's like, who should I call, what should I do, and how, and you're just completely calm and just observing yourself and tuning in with your body, with yourself. Also feels like you put enough, let's say, time of the preparation to really maybe get to know yourself even better, getting the best out of the most difficult times, right? COVID started, you being alone, feeling horrible the first 16 to 20 weeks, and yet being able to turn it around, like, okay, let's take it as the opportunity that I can go more inward and observe. I mean, this is it's yeah, I just hope that you can see how amazingly strong woman you are, because it's I have a huge respect, really. So yeah, thank you for for sharing this beautiful, inspiring story. Um, I would love to actually ask. So you mentioned that Noam is almost 5 months, and so we've always in Mamamoon we always like to go beyond the birth,
Yeah.
because that's right. I mean, it's a beautiful moment, but then you come home and well, yeah. Oh, you are home with your little one, and then everything is yeah, shifting, changing. How has it been? How were the first weeks, the first months? Anything that you expected, which yeah, anything you would maybe mention to other moms out there to also get yourself ready or prepared before?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, wow, the the weeks after birth, this is such a magical time. It's I still love to reminisce that. There was such a special energy around. I mean, a
Mm.
newborn baby is it's a new soul coming to this earth, and there is so much divinity around this little one. And yeah, I mean, luckily I gave birth at home in my birth tent, and I was just I stayed there with my baby for. We didn't left our tent for the first 10 days. I mean, I did, of course. I went to the kitchen, the bathroom, um, but no one was mainly in the red tent, birth tent all the time, and yeah, it was so kind of magical, but also it's so wow, it's so demanding. I mean, what I didn't expect and what I think is yeah, important. Everything takes so much time in the first weeks after the birth. Like I don't know, days are passing by, and in the end of a day, sometimes I was sitting there and I was happy if I could manage to brush my teeth twice, and maybe I don't know, like having a shower, because everything takes so much time, breastfeeding, and I mean sore nipples, and that can keep you busy a full day. And I didn't expect that to be so intense, actually. And I think it's super important to just giving time to everything, giving time to this new baby to fully arrive here on Earthside, and giving time to yourself to yeah, just for this transformation into motherhood, into this new life. Everything is new, everything is different, just so different, and your body needs time to recover. And I think it's super important to have a good support for the first weeks. My mom and my sister literally moved in for the first 2 weeks. They were always here. One of them were always here, and another friend provided me with so delicious, healthy, vegan food every day. My sister and my mom, they were they were looking after the household and those stuff. So I was really free to focus on my baby, on myself, and I really needed that time. So breastfeeding, the beginning of breastfeeding was a little bit difficult with me and Noam, and that took a lot of physical care and yeah, and also emotionally. Like this is everything is so emotional, and yeah, it's so important to take time for the soul and to yeah, just to get used to this new situation, and yeah, I think it's also very important to kind of limit the visitors to your needs. I mean, I didn't want to have any visitors for the first day. And then I felt like seeing specific people. I just felt, yeah, I, I just, there came people came into my mind I would like to introduce to my son on like step by step. And I just asked those people spontaneously to come over. Um, and I think it's good to let your family on your friends to let them know before the birth that um you're not you're gonna go slow on that, so they don't feel offended if they want to come and see the baby. You should really feel ready for that, because that can be very overwhelming. I mean, we are so in this, we are so used to taking care for our guests and then making a coffee and offering them food or something. And I think it's super important that yeah, to to um to communicate that if people come for a visit, they should bring you some food, or they should wash their dishes by themselves. And yeah, because you really need the time and the energy to be focused on yourself and the baby and your body and this whole new situation.
Yeah. Well, there's so many good tips there. And I think on a theoretical level, everybody always says, sleep when your baby sleeps and take rest and stay in bed. But practically, I know very, very few women who actually give themselves that time during postpartum and plan up front and really make sure that they have the right support and get there. And I think when you communicate upfront what you need, or what you want, how slow you want to take it, everybody will be respectful of that. I'm always thinking of this, of the slogan, respect postpartum, respect that period. It is for mom and baby only, and that's and for parents and baby only to grow into that new situation. And so we're often saying to parents to be, if there's a moment to be selfish in your life, it's during this period. It's during birth and preparing for birth, and it's also during postpartum. You need to put yourself on the first place and your baby on the first place, and getting to know each other and healing and transitioning into that new reality. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So many good tips. And I think it's so good for future moms out there and future parents to hear real life stories and hear how people like you did it, so that it encourages them and empowers them to make similar choices, or at least make conscious choices for their own situations, right? So if you had one golden tip, Hannah, one thing only that you could give our moms out there, what would it be? What would you say they should be doing, or what helped you most? Just that one tip, what would that be?
Yeah, I guess definitely listen to your intuition. Just listen to yourself, to your inner voice, trust your instincts, because your body and your soul exactly knows what it needs to be comfortable, to be relaxed. And yeah, just listen to your intuition. Your body knows what to do under birth. Your body exactly knows how to give birth. And yeah, just reclaim the power over your body, over your health, over the whole situation and the pregnancy. If your intuition is that you don't want to see a doctor in your pregnancy, then follow that intuition. There is a reason for that. If you have this gut feeling about having a extra additional checkup with the doctor, then do it, because there is a reason for that. Just, yeah, follow your instincts and your intuition. Come back to your own inner voice, and then, yeah, I think that's the golden tip. Trust yourself.
Wow. Such a huge task, such a good tip, and such a huge task for all of us. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hannah, for being with us on this podcast and sharing your story. Super, super, super inspiring. And I love the energy and the passion that you share your story with. I really hope you get to share it a lot more, because again, your story needs to go out there, and moms need to hear it and need to feed off your energy and your confidence and learn from you. So I love that, and it's brilliant that you're here with us today. Thanks so much. If people have questions, is there a way that they can reach out to you? Would you be willing to be available?
Yeah, definitely. You can reach out to me on Instagram. I guess you're gonna share my Instagram account. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Definitely. You can ask me about the tent or whatever. Yeah. And what I wanted to, but it just came into my head, and I thought that I would like to say at the end of this conversation. I mean, even if you're not planning a home birth, or I know that I'm super aware about that not every woman giving birth within 3 hours as I do, and not feeling the labor painful. That's not standard, definitely. And I know that, and I'm super grateful for that. But still my golden tip for the intuition, this is something that can empower you so much, no matter where you give birth, and no matter if you give birth in 3 hours or you give birth in 24 hours. I just wanted to mention that I'm super aware about that. My story is not a standard, but it's still important.
Super right. And we experience that a lot also in our work, that it's important to prepare and to be in tune with yourself and understand that your body is designed to make that, and have that confidence and trust, no matter what happens. Absolutely. Simply because so you can make informed choices, and the tools, a lot of the tools will help you in no matter where you give birth, and no matter how your baby in the end comes onto this world. It's important that you stay in your power and are connected to your own body and your intuition and your baby.
And actually, the tent that you made, Hannah, could be a beautiful idea for so many hospital births. Some women feel more confident when they are in the hospital, or they have no other choice. And then imagine if you can just transform, the area around you to like, I'm here, but I'm not here. So I find it's an amazing inspiration for exactly like what you said. Doesn't matter where and how. So it's super happy that you shared the story.
Yeah, we'll share some pictures of your amazing birth tent as well on our channels for sure, so that you can see them. We'll make sure that in the show notes you'll find Hannah's Instagram handle, so you can reach out to her with any questions and any inspiration that you're looking for. We're here for questions as well. Hannah, thanks so much for being with us. Thanks for sharing your birth story. And everyone else, again, I mean, if this is not the birth story to comment on, then I don't know it anymore. Please like this, give us a thumbs up, share it, listen to all of our other episodes as well. And if you're ready to prepare for your birth, wherever that may be, then get in touch. We'd love to be part of that journey. Thanks again, everyone, and speak to you soon. We'll catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much for listening to our Mamamoon Podcast. We would love to see you again, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes.
Also, for more information and to stay up to date, check our website mamamoon.me and our Instagram and Facebook.